the facilities, and we've seen folks who've gone to the hospital from nursing homes that we've lost in recent weeks. So certainly, these are the folks that obviously with frontline workers will be first to get a vaccine.
Ryan, would you explain for us
I know a couple
your
weeks
quarantine
ago,
situation?
Loretto posted in their nursing home.
What was that,
Loretto
Tony?
I know a couple weeks ago, Loretto in Syracuse posted that they had 18 residents who had contracted. Are you aware of anything happening in that nursing home right now?
I know we've had cases there. I'm sure we've had more cases since then as well, whether it's employees or residents. We've had them at multiple facilities at this point. Andrew, you there?
Yeah, Ryan, would you just explain why you're in quarantine right now and what your plan is moving forward?
Yeah, I'm in quarantine. I had exposure to a family member who tested positive for COVID-19. I received a test. I'm negative. I have no symptoms. Right now, I'll stay in quarantine probably for the rest of the week. I think my quarantine is up on Friday or Saturday. Certainly, I may get another test towards the end of this process. But it's one of those situations where I could allow myself to go to the office and work, but decide to lead by example and hang home and work from home.
Hey, Ryan, if you're quarantined, it's a 14-day quarantine
Correct.
that ends Friday. So
Saturday.
So it took a while to identify you as a contact. Did you learn of it?
Yeah, I learned of the positive Wednesday evening.
Oh, okay. Hey, are the plans for Manley Fieldhouse, is that agreement still available if that becomes needed for surge capacity?
It is. It's part of our surge plan for the community. Each hospital also has their surge plans on how to increase their room capacity. And so these are all things that certainly we did this planning in the beginning of the pandemic, and we will certainly we didn't even have to dust them off. They've been there waiting. One of the challenges, and I think you heard the governor talk about this, is wave one, you had a lot of medical professionals from around the country coming into New York. We had our medical professionals go down to Long Island. This will be a challenge from a staffing level if we had to open up a surge site. So certainly we'll plan and prepare for that.
Yeah, early on, the county was recruiting medical volunteers from, I think, mostly from among retirees. Is there still a kind of a roster of those ready to go, or are you recruiting again? Or
yeah. So we have a medical volunteer list of doctors and of retirees as well. That can come in and do different things for us if need be. And certainly we have that available. And I know that the doctors and the medical professionals in this community are all heroes. They'll step up. If we get to the point where we need a surge site, you'll see your primary care physician stepping up and everybody stepping up to make sure our sick get treated.
can I ask you, how did enforcement go over Thanksgiving weekend? Did businesses have to get cited?
I don't know of any citations, Tim. My understanding it was quiet, and I certainly we're communicating a lot with these businesses who do the right things. They're just bunched into an industry right now that's under heavy regulations. So we're doing everything we can to stabilize the positivity rate. Again, I think the hospitalization helping to drive these zones now is a good thing because nobody can argue if we're running out of hospital rooms that things need to slow down. But also if we have more capacity, but we have some high positivity rates because of who's being tested, not that it's an accurate indication of the infection rate. I think that's better for business, and it's better for people to understand when it comes to restrictions.
I know it's early, but has any contact tracing resulted from anything on Thanksgiving?
I think it's a little early for that, Andrew. My guess is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you start seeing some things. Again, what the governor talked about early is what we've seen, right? So your small gatherings, most of these things, nobody's trying to do anything wrong. You're just getting together with people, even in your own pod now. My scenario, you can be exposed to loved ones that you've seen throughout the pandemic that maybe may have had exposure. So these are all scenarios that it is where it is when we have community transmission at this. That's why we really need to hunker down over the next few weeks and try to slow this thing. And another reason why you have to is because we want our friends to be able to operate and make a living. What's different with wave 2 compared to wave 1 with restrictions? Wave 1, everybody agrees to shut down in April and March. And there's PPP loans for small businesses. Business owners could pay their bills and keep as many employees on as possible. And you had unemployment for folks that lost their jobs. Now the unemployment benefits are scheduled to leave and the PPP is not there. So this is a real problem for a lot of people. And again, now's the time for our friends in Washington to quit the poison pill language with the stimulus packages, get some things done for people that need help right now. It's critical as our country has seen a real uptick and will continue to see pressure. It's costing us all a lot of money for the response, and people's lives and jobs are on the line now. We need help out of DC.
All set?
Hey, Ryan, quick question. Over the weekend, when you were talking to the folks from the state health department, did the issue of the food court at Destiny come up?
No. Again, I saw some of their comments, I think, to you guys. We've asked for clarification from it. Again, if in the orange zone guidance, it doesn't talk about food courts at malls, right? It's an interpretation issue. We have no problem saying it can't be open. Nobody's told us that. So once that's clarified, not via media reporting, but where we can talk to somebody and understand it, we have no problem regulating it. I don't even know if it is open. I certainly was not at the mall this weekend. I was enjoying the confines of my home.
But as far as you know, it can be as of now.
I think I've gotten emails from people where maybe some of you folks have gotten quotes. When you read the orange zone, nothing in orange zone talks about food courts. This isn't property of restaurants. They don't own that property. There's food courts have their own guidance and got their own guidance and restart. So my understanding is they're okay. If they're not okay, no big deal. We'll call up the owners and say they're not okay. But indoor dining, if you go to the mall, I don't even know who's in the food court, what restaurant, but say a Wendy's is there. Wendy's does not own those tables. That's not part of their indoor dining. That's common space that has its own guidance. If that guidance is suspended, we'll enforce it.
And
Ryan,
the testing you're doing in neighborhoods this week, is that still the Binac rapid test, or is that?
It is. And again, we're going to be at the Hamilton Street Boys and Girls Club. We'll be at McChesney. Difference this time, last time we tested that zip code. This time we'll test any city resident. Town of Clay Senior Center, that's only for the 13041 zip code. And then the Sewell Branch Library for the 13214 zip code. Again, with some of these zip codes, Tim, what we did, I don't see the number of negative tests I see the active cases. Some of these zip codes went into zones and you had 4 cases 2 weeks ago and now you got 6, right? So to me, that means we have to go test that data to see, is this just an issue of 2 new positives and 20 negatives, and it looks like there's a 10% problem when there might not be a problem at all. So that's what we're trying to find out.
Brian, it's Trish. I have one more question for you. I was just wondering what kind of test you got, if it was the one that goes all the way up and tickles your brain, or.
So Trish, I took the asymptomatic Binex Now test. I've now taken multiple Binex tests. And so, no, I did not get the full nasal swab. I know that that's one of your favorites though.
I thought you couldn't take that test if you had a contact.
I'm asymptomatic.
Okay. I didn't know that mattered.
Yes, I can't. If I become symptomatic, I cannot take that test.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling well.
Thank you. I know you're concerned. Anything else?
That's that, everybody? All right, thank you.
All right. Thanks, folks.